did mute. Now I'm unmuted. Okay, I'll use the microphone anyway. All right. I'll just use this. Somehow I accidentally myself. I don't know. All right. So now we're gonna go Bob. Does Bob have a question? My man Bob. Bob's probably been with me on TikTok doing fantasy, if he's still even around, because I'm on my phone again tonight. Bob's been around the longest. So yes, thank you, Bob, for the roses. I appreciate it. Bob has Geno Smith as his starter, and he's done pretty well with him. And he also has Bowers as a tight end. And I think Bowers had a huge number last week. All right. Steve French on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. Let's see. Stephen French asked Cooper or Ickheim. Let me just jump right to it. I have a whole new system. As you can see, guys, I'm trying to get a little bit more organized than normal. On the screen there, you'll see my quarterback ranking, running back, wide receiver. Don't forget to hit those likes. This is the top 15 for players that still have yet to play in week 14, not the people on buys. So I'll give you the Cooper Ickheim in just 1 second there. All right. Where am I? I know where I am. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. We're going to add, oh, you know what? Yeah, we're going to go him, and then we're going to go Cooper. Amari Cooper. I'm assuming you mean not Cooper Kupp. I am going with. It's a close one. I'm I actually am more partial to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine because it's a very close matchup, because he has the better matchup against Jacksonville, and Amari Cooper has been a little inconsistent, while Ikhine has been very consistent and has good chemistry, but it's essentially a toss-up. And I did I bring a coin? Darn it, I was going to bring a coin for my toss-up select. Oh, I do have a coin. I have this thing from Map. Oh, it's the same on both sides though. Well, that's stupid. I have this large coin I could flip, but it doesn't matter because it's the same on both sides. Maybe I can mark it a little bit. I don't want it. Do I have a marker that I can mark it with? I'll put a green dot on the thing. All right. The green dot is Ickine on the center. The non-green dot is Cooper. All right. It is the green dot. So Ickine is the answer right there. All right. We flipped the coin. We got the win there. All right. Let's see. Don't forget, everybody, hit that like button. We have 1,300 likes. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe and like. If you're on TikTok, hey, Sideways is here. Hey, Sideways, what's up? And Bob, I know I need to look for your question. All right, Sideways is here. Let me look for Sideways question. Let's get through this stuff. I'm trying to move a little bit quicker. Okay, Jonnu Smith, Devontae Smith, DK, and Adam Thielen, pick 2. All right, let's do this thing. All right, we have Jonnu Smith. All right. We have Jonnu Smith. We have DK Metcalf. We have, Devontae Smith. Okay, sorry. Devontae Smith. And then we have Adam Thielen. All right. Well, let's see. Right now, I'm getting a lot of good information on DK Metcalf, although he does have a minor injury, doesn't he? I'm leaning towards Jonnu Smith on this one. I know he's a tight end, but let me just see here. Jonnu Smith, where is he? I have a whole nother system that I'm working on here to get the answers. Yeah, Jonnu Smith, he is projected at just 7.6 points, but he goes over on average almost 3 points. So you're looking at almost 10 points, and the Jets are kind of average against tight ends. But I would go Jonnu Smith. Ooh, but you're going for a flex probably, aren't you? Yeah, I'd go DK and Jonnu Smith. I'm a little worried about Devontae Smith and Adam Thielen. to me is a riskier pick. Like you could go, I would go, if you want to take a little bit more of a risk, I'd go Jonnu Smith and Adam Thielen on that. But if you want a little safer pick, I'd go Jonnu Smith and DK Metcalf on that side, sideways. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it, everybody. Don't forget, if you gift, you get your questions asked right away, both on YouTube. We're on YouTube tonight, and we're on TikTok, obviously. So YouTube now has gifts, everybody. I don't know if you heard about that, but they have gifts just like TikTok. So I'm going to use the same system that I do on both. All right. Why is Hill so high? Okay, let's see. Harrison and 2. Why is Hill so high? Harrison and 2. Hill's high because of, look at the matchup against the Jets. The matchup against the Jets is really good for Tyreek Hill. The Jets are not very good against passing, and Tua should have a heck of a game. I mean, right now, we're looking at Tua probably putting in 13 or so points. That's why he's up there. All right, Samir is up there. Harrison, you'll go first, then 2, then Samir. All right, all you have to do is send a gift, and okay, Harrison, Tyreek Hill, Pickens, or Higgins? Well, I'll give you that in a second. Hill, Pickens, or wait, where did you go? Or Higgins? Okay, Hill. All right, where are we at here? Nope, wrong. Hill. Let's go Hill, Pickens, or Higgins. And I'm just picking one, right? Pick 2. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I need to read your questions a little bit more. All right, I am going with T. Higgins and Tyreek Hill. T. Higgins and Tyreek Hill. They have good matchups. Let's see here. Basically, they both should do well, and I'm picking T. Higgins based on the matchup against Dallas, and then Tyreek Hill against the Jets. I would go with those two. All right, Harrison, thank you very much for the gifts. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your support. Don't forget, everybody, to hit that follow button on TikTok and hit that like button. We only have 1,700 likes. Bob's back. I'm going to go to 2. Then I'll go to Samir. Then I'll go to Bob. We only have 1,700 likes. Let's get to 2,000. All right. And if you're on YouTube, hit that like button if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button. That would be fantastic. All right. Let me go to 2. I know I saw his question earlier. I see Samir's. Where's 2? Okay. You think Cooper Rush will do good fantasy-wise against a poor Bengals defense? Well, I mean, I think Cooper Rush will do as good as he possibly can. I don't think that he's, a top 5 quarterback. I don't, it's hard to predict if he's going to put up 35 points or anything like that. But I would say that Cooper Rush, you're probably looking at, minimum of 15 to 18 points probably with Cooper Rush. So in a 10-team league, I'm always trying to get my quarterback up to 19 or more. And I think that he gets you close. I'm not sure that he gets you 19, but you could solidly look to get maybe not 15, but 14 to 18, let's say, in that range. And the one thing good about Cooper Rush is for the games that he's played in, he actually goes over his projection by about a half a point. So that means if he's projected at 17, he averages about 17 and a half during that period of time. So good numbers there. Don't forget to hit that like button and follow button if you're on TikTok. We're going to try to move through these things pretty quickly. So again, Cooper Rush, probably 14 to 18 points. All right, Samir, you are next, and then I'll go with Bob if he has a question. I know I saw Samir's questions earlier. Let's see. We are going through the gifting right now, and you can gift as well on YouTube. They do have a gifting program now, much like TikTok. Where is 2? I saw 2's buying that. Let's go through this. Everybody having a good night, I hope. Staying warm if you're in cold places. I know I live in St. Louis, and it's freezing here. Mr. Magic, yo, what's up, Mr. Magic? If you have a question, send it my way. Awesome. Thanks, man. All right, that was 2. I'm looking for Samir. Samir, I have 3 spots with Wilson, Shakir. Let's do the research that I can get in as quickly as possible, so I'm not taking so much time with everybody. I think that was so when you say Wilson, I'm assuming you mean Garrett Wilson, obviously, because you're putting up wide receivers. I'm just asking to clarify. Uh, and yes, sometimes I do get confused on people. Khalil, Shakir, Pickens, Westbrook, and Valdez. All right. Pickens. All right, let's go Valdez. All right. Well, I can tell you that if I'm picking 2, well, there's 2 schools of thought, really. Oh, I have 3 spots. Oh, cool, 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 cool. Here's what I would do, Samir, on that one. I would pick George Pickens against Cleveland, okay? Because the weather conditions will be a little bit drier, and he should have a good game. Hey, Panda. Hey, Kenny, you'll be after Bob, Panda. I think that was the order, and then Kenny will be after Panda. All right, I'm on Samir right now. I have Samir, Bob, Panda, Kenny. If I missed anyone, put that in the chat and I'll get to it. If you send me any gifts on TikTok or YouTube, YouTube does have gifting now. All right, Mr. Magic, I will get to you in just a second, buddy. I promise on YouTube. All right, so I would go Pickens. Okay, now watch. I'm going to be a risk taker here. I would go Pickens, Westbrook, and Valdez. Wilson doesn't put up consistent numbers. Shakir is not putting up any numbers right now. Pickens will be steady against Cleveland. Westbrook, Ickheim has had 3 really good weeks, especially 2 of the last 3 weeks. He goes up against a very poor Jag team. He should have a good game. And Valdez Scantling is the number 1 there, and he should be putting up a good number as well. So that should be a good matchup for him as well. Let's see here. Yeah, he's super duper hot. Yeah, he's had like over 18 points the last couple of weeks. And here he goes against the Giants. And the Giants aren't going to know what to do with him. So now I do realize that Westbrook and Valdez are kind of newer people, but if you look at their numbers, they have put up good numbers and they should continue to do that. So thank you, Samir. That would be my 3 answers right there. All right, Bob, do you have a new question, Bob? Bob, like I said, he's been with me the longest. He was one of my first people to send me anything. Thank you, Samir, for the roses. I appreciate it. All right. Bob, I'm not seeing a question, but as you know, it's one of 3 things. Either I'm missing it. Okay. Do you think JSN will do good? Well, let's see here. JSN. I think JSN will do good. I really do. And I'm not just saying that. Let me pull up some info about him real quick. I think he'll do really good. I have him right now. Where is he here? I put him on the board, right? I have him 12 of the players that are remaining. JSN has had a bunch of good games, and wide receivers perform better than average against Arizona. So I see him doing really well. What's really well? Well, Bob, I'm a little conservative when I throw around numbers, but I would say probably 12 to 15, 12 to 16. He should do well. And DK, still dealing with a little bit of an ankle. I know he's played recently, but with that ankle injury, that brings some fear into my mind. Let's see, where am I going here? Okay. I'm jumping all over the place. Let me just check his status, or let me check Metcalf's status real quick. I know I'm taking a little bit longer here, but I think JSN will do good. I really, really do. Oh, DK is off the injury report. I know that he was dealing with, a shoulder. Did I say ankle? Doesn't have an injury, so that's good. I think DK should do well, but I think JSN has been putting up the numbers and obviously has chemistry with Geno over the last few weeks, and Metcalf hasn't done that. He hasn't put up points. He's had 10, 7.9, and 8.6, while JSN has been putting up some big numbers, Bob. I think JSN will have a good week, solid week. All right, let's go to Panda. Where is Panda? And we have Panda And then I will jump when I'm done with Panda, Kenny, and then I'll jump over to YouTube for a second. Oh, Brioche is here. Hey, Brioche. I believe you've been on before. I recognize that name. Thank you very much for joining again. I really do appreciate it. Where is Panda? Panda, Panda, Panda. So right now I'm going Panda, Kenny, and then I'll jump over to Mr. Magic. Hopefully Mr. Magic is still around. And then I'll go to Brioche. Panda. Where is Panda's question here? Sometimes it takes me longer to find the thing than actually to answer it. How's everybody doing though? Everybody doing okay? Staying warm? Getting ready for the holiday season? Samir, where's Panda? Panda was super nice. Sent some gifts over. Brian Thomas getting some love. Of course he is. Kenny, I see Kenny with the rose. Where's Panda? Panda's got to be getting close. Okay. I'll look for Panda real quick. I see Kenny. Oh. Let's see. Okay, Panda. What are a few running backs I should try to get from waivers? I need one for this week since Hall is probably out. Great question. Let's look that up real quick, buddy. Or buddy. Oh boy, what am I looking up here? Okay. Running backs, right? Yeah, running backs. We're on running backs right now. Don't forget, everybody, hit that like button, hit that follow button. I go live almost every single day. I love going live. I love helping you guys out. I get really distraught when I don't. Last night, I did not think Jacobs would have the game that he did. And I think I told some people last night that you might want to sit Jacobs or consider it. And I felt horrible all day. So, okay. What are some running backs? We're on Panda right now. We'll go to Kenny. We'll jump over to YouTube, and then we'll go to Brioche. I hope everybody's okay with that. Come on. Okay. Rico Dottle is a name, Panda, that you might still be on waivers. Chuba Hubbard, I think some people have dropped. He might have a good game. Tyrone Tracy, definitely. Isaac Garendo, that's why he's down here. You can't see this though on YouTube, but I'm pointing to the Isaac Garendo. He's a little bit of a mystery because we haven't seen him as a starter, but from what I'm reading, he should be solid. But I'll be honest with you, I had the X's by the name on the graphic or on this list, whatever you want to call it. Graphic. Listen to me. I'm trying to sound like I'm, Mr. Cool, but I have that there because I just don't know what he's going to be like. And I don't want to support him wholeheartedly, completely. Rashad White might be one. He's put up decent numbers. Nick Chubb, his numbers have been better over the last 2 weeks. That might be another name. So just to recap, Rico Dottle, if he's still around, Chuba Hubbard, possibly, Tyrone Tracy, definitely, Isaac Garendo, definitely. Nick Chubb, you could go after Rashad White, and then it really kind of drops off. Travis Etienne here. Let's see. Rush 13 to 46 yards. Etienne logged 6 more carries. He did have a better game last time. People were talking about him. Road matchup against the Titans with Mac Jones, like he filling up for contest, but the outlook. Yeah, those are the names. Everybody else, like Jaylen Warren, isn't bad with Pittsburgh, but Najee still gets all the carries. And then Travis Etienne might not be a bad name to pick up, but outside of that, it really drops off. So Dottle, Chuba, Tyrone, Isaac Garendo, Rashad White, and then if you have no one else, Jaylen Warren, Travis Etienne. All right, great. We got that one. Thank you, Panda, for your support. I really do appreciate it. Let's see over here. That was Panda. I'm going to go to Kenny. Then I'll go back to Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic, you still there on? Hey, Tay, you'll be after Brioche. Right now I'm on Kenny. Then I'm going to go to Mr. Magic. Then I'm going to go to Brioche. And then Tay. And then I just missed Qua. Was that it? Was it Jay? I think it was Jay. All right. Let's see. Kenny. I know I saw Kenny's earlier. Where is Kenny's? Samir, we already answered. That's Quanba. Okay. You guys probably put these names in to make me say them and make me sound silly. It's fine. I totally get it. I would do it to me too. Oh, I'm not used to doing this on my phone. All right, let's see. Where is Kenny? I see where he gave the roses. I see Samir thanking me. Teddy, not Kenny. Samir, where are we at here? Brioche, I already see. I got to get the brioche, though, don't I? Where's that Kenny? Kenny, uh-oh, you killed Kenny. Uh-oh, I just said that. I'm probably going to get a strike against me, aren't I? On all these channels. Oh, here we go, Kenny. London neighbors. Let's look it up. London neighbors falling down, falling down. All right. London. People are still pretty high on London, although he hasn't been putting up points. Neighbors hasn't been putting up regular points. London, okay, start 3. Myers. Oh, well, I can already tell you, Myers and Higgins would, in my mind, be yeses. And Nick West. Wow, there's a name I don't. Oh, you're talking about Westbrook. Here's what I would do, dude. I would go Myers, Higgins, and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Now Westbrook-Ikhine is a little bit more of a stretch. He's a little bit newer, but if you look at his numbers, they've been very solid over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks. So that's why I'm suggesting him. He's kind of an outlier. A lot of the experts and a lot of the things that I'm looking at don't have him rated necessarily high. That's why when you look on this list over here where my finger's going up and down, I have him by the X's. But he's been putting up a lot of good points lately. So, excuse me. Sorry about that. So yeah, I would go Myers, Higgins, and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. All right, Magic, Mr. Magic. Okay, Jacoby, JSN, or DK full PPR. If I have to pick one, Mr. Magic, I would go between Jacoby and JSN. But let me look that up real quick. Let's see. How do I do this? All right. We're looking at Mr. Magic right now. Jacoby, JSN, or DK. I like Smith. I like JSN. Let's look up Myers. I know what experts are going to tell me. They're going to tell me to, go with DK, but DK has not been putting up the points that JSN has been. Yeah, they're going to say DK. I would go with Jacoby Myers. Based on the matchup because they're playing Tampa Bay and you can pass pretty well against Tampa Bay. So I'm going Jacoby Myers. They're telling me DK Metcalf. I'm not 100% on that one. I would rather go with JSN over DK, but I would definitely pick Jacoby over both of them. All right. Thank you, Kenny. Let's go to Brioche, and I'll look and see if. All right, Mr. Magic, is Cooper Kupp not a top 10 wide receiver anymore? Well, right now he is, because of last week. I have him on there, don't I? Did I take him off? Well, I'm kind of down on Cooper Kupp because of what happened with Puka last week. He probably is higher, but I do kind of think this matchup this week is key for the players here. So this is a week 14 matchup list. It's not particularly like who are the best wide receivers. This is just for the remaining players who are playing this weekend. Not the ones who have already played, not the ones on a bye. This doesn't have Jaden Reed, who, oh my God, it was horrible last night. But yeah. All right. So let's go to Brioche. I know Brioche has been waiting. Okay. Where is Brioche? Brioche has been waiting very patiently, I might add too. So that makes me want to get to. Okay. Flex 2, Rashad, Devontae Smith, D-Hop, Valdez, Scantling. Oh, that's a good list there. All right, let's look it up. I'm telling you right now, the experts are not picking Scantling, but I am high on Scantling right now. Yeah, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling. All right, Rashad White. And then we have Smith. If I can spell, Smith does not have an N in it. Let's see. Oh, that's all they're giving me? Devontae. Yeah, okay. And then we have Hopkins. Okay. And I am picking 2. Now, it's what I'm getting is Rachaad White and Devontae Smith. But Las Vegas is tough against running backs, okay? And that's the one thing that worries me. Because you also have Bucky Irving. That's that they're going to split the carries. So I would look for Devontae Smith. I would very strongly consider Devontae Smith and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Those are the 2 that I would pick. Now you could go with Rachaad White and Devontae Smith. That might be the safer pick, but I would go with Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Devontae Smith. It's a little bit riskier. People aren't really giving much props to Marquez right now, but I am. He's been putting up some good numbers. He's the number 1 in New Orleans. And hey, Beto's here. Beto, what's up, my man? Thank you. So yeah, so if you want to go, steadier, more conservative, Rachaad White and Devontae Smith. If you want to take a little bit more of a risk, I'd go Devontae Smith and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Thank you, Beto, for all that. Let's go look for Jay. That was Brioche. Thank you, Brioche, for your support. Oh, no, it's Tay. It's Tay. It's Tay. I see you, Tay. I see you, Tay. We're getting to you right now. Sorry about that. I have a water here. Let me take a little bit of a water break. And if you're on YouTube, and I know there are some folks over on YouTube, don't forget to ask any questions. If you want your question read, all you have to do is if you definitely want it read, all you have to do is send me a gift, because YouTube now, as maybe some of you know and some of you don't know, YouTube now has gifts just like TikTok, which is kind of nice, because otherwise I'd be asking everybody for like $2, because that was the only way to type in a question on YouTube. But now you can gift just like TikTok. And don't forget, while you're on TikTok or while you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button. We're at 4,100 on TikTok. Let's get that to 4,500. And also, don't forget to hit follow. I go live almost every single day. So you can always ask your questions to me, and we can go from there. Same way on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe button, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Sometimes I even go live during the games on Sunday. Just kind of depends on how my teams are doing and whether or not I have the energy to know that my teams are really stinking and all that stuff. All right, let's get to it. Let's go look up Tay. I've talked enough and lost enough people watching me on TikTok, at least. Tay, sit 1 between Devontae, Myers, Guerendo. Playoffs rely on this, brother. Okay, Tay. So I would go definitely. Okay, if it's 3 players and I'm sitting 1, that means I pick 2. I'm going Myers and Guerendo. Guerendo is a little bit of a risk. I know that he's a little bit of a risk. Some people actually have him in the top 10 this weekend. I just couldn't do that because he hasn't really performed as a starter at all this season, so I couldn't do that. But I would go Jakobi Meyers and I would go Isaac Guerendo. Devontae, whether it's Devontae Smith or Devontae Adams, I know that they have similar spellings. Devontae Adams is not steady, and that offense with the Jets is just not fun to watch. And Jakobi Meyers, that he can, that Minshew will pass the ball and they'll get him the ball, and they're going up against the Bucks, and you can pass on the Bucks all day, so that should be good. And Guerendo, while they 49ers, Chicago. Let's just see Chicago against running backs real quick. Chicago's 23rd against running backs, so Guerendo should have a pretty decent day. So, yes, I would go Guerendo and Jakobi Meyers, Tay. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. All right, next, we are looking for, I think it's, is this Gagan? I thought it was Q something. Is Gagan here? Just got, Kataru will be after Beto if Beto has a question. Sometimes Beto just comes in and is super nice. Yeah, Devontae Adams. Yeah, it doesn't. I would still say go with the picks that I went with. All right. I am looking for, is it Gagan? Is Gagan around, or were those Qs? Oh, man, there's so many So many chats right now. Let's see here. I'm looking for I thought they were Q's. Maybe that's why Gagan got mad at me. NBA edits followed me. Thank you for following. Don't forget everybody on TikTok or YouTube. Hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Devontae or Judy this week? Well, okay, BDK CT79. Which Devontae? Are you talking Adams? I'm assuming you mean Adams. So I'll just look up Adams. How about that? I'll go with the assumption that it's Adams. Okay, because you're spelling it like that, Adams. And then we're going with Judy. I like Judy because he had 11 points, I think it was, against Pittsburgh last time. It's close. The one thing that bothers me is Miami's pretty good against passing. They're good against wide receivers. So Miami, that is. So they're actually number 1 against wide receiver. Oh, wait, this is the full season. Nobody wants the full season. We just want the last 4 weeks. Let's go. Where are we at here, guys? Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, Miami's 10th now. Yeah, I really think Jerry Jeudy will have a solid game. I guess if you want to go this way, like Jerry Jeudy to me is the conservative play. He'll get you, 10 to 14 points probably because they do pass to so many people. If you want to take a risk and go with Devontae Adams, he's been a little bit more of a roller coaster or a yo-yo, if you will, up and down, a bigger range. But you can go with him if you really need the points. But if you want steady points, like I said, 11 to 14-ish, I would go with Jerry Jeudy. He is clearly the number 1 there. So, all right, let's see. Got that one out of the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would go with Jeudy. I know that people I know you're struggling with it, but I think Jeudy puts up easy 11 points. Easy. So that's something. All right. I'm still looking for Qua or Gagan. I read it as Q's, but it could have been Gagan. I wasn't even thinking. And then I'm also looking for other people. If you've sent me a gift on TikTok, hey Tay, thank you. I'll look for more questions from you. Let's see. If you've sent me a gift on on TikTok and I haven't responded, please resend it and put it in all caps if you can. Okay, I'm going to go to Katuru, only because I just saw it. I'm not seeing one from Beto. Sometimes Beto doesn't. And Gagan or Quaqua, I'm not seeing one for either. So if they can just resend that in all caps, that would be great. If you have anything else on YouTube, send it my way. Don't forget on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button if you're on TikTok, and keep hitting. We're at 4,600 likes. Let's get the 5,000 likes on TikTok. Let's do it. All right. Katuru, Mooney or D-Hop? Let's look it up, baby. Let's look it up. Mooney. Everybody's really high on London lately. Like they kind of forgot that Mooney's, has he's been putting up some good points. So let's see here. D-Hop. All right. It's a little bit closer. Mooney goes up against, obviously, Minnesota. DeAndre Hopkins against the Chargers. I don't think he was on the team when he played the Chargers the first time around. The Chargers against wide receivers. Let's just look that up. The Chargers, they're not very good. They're 29th. And Mooney in Minnesota against they're 18th. So the better matchup is for D-Hop. So I'm going to lean towards D-Hop on this one because he has been putting up some good points. And Mooney, remember, has to split some of those catches with, where am I at here? I'm looking something else up right now. With Drake London. So that might take a little bit away from him. So I would go with D-Hop on that one, Katuru. All right, I'm looking. All right, if you guys want to jump to the front of the line, You can send me a gift on either YouTube or TikTok because they both have little gifts, like the roses. And I don't know what YouTube does, but I know on TikTok it's obviously roses because that's what they've been putting out there. So let's see what we got here. Have I been gifted and I just haven't seen it? Oh, yeah. Tay sent me more. Who would you start between Tua and Purdy? Good question. Tay has sent me additional roses, by the way. So I'm not just doing this to be a jerk to everybody else. So, and I wrote in Tay rather than Tua. That's how excited I am because of all the roses he sent. All right, let me look at Purdy. All right, Brock Purdy. Okay. See, I think the matchup, okay, against like Chicago against quarterbacks. Let's just look that up real quick, okay? Chicago against quarterbacks is 18th. They give up 21 points, and that's what Purdy is. Now the Jets are much worse. They're 30th, so it's a much better matchup for Tua. So I'm going to tell you that I would like Tua over Purdy in that one. It's a much better matchup. Just to let you know what the matchup's like, the Jets give up 26.2 points on average over the last 4 games to quarterbacks, while where are we at here? I'm all confused now. While Chicago gives up 21.2. So it's a 5-point swing, which is a pretty big deal. So I would definitely go with Tua on that, Tay. All right, don't forget, hey, Tay, I don't know if you have, but hey, Garrett's here. Tay, please follow me. You might have been on before, but I don't necessarily remember the name, Tay. So please go ahead and follow. Would love to have you join my other live streams and ask more questions and help you out as best as I can. Garrett Stevens, wasn't that a pitcher's name, Garrett Stevens? Or was it Garrett Stevenson? I live in St. Louis, so I'm a Cardinal fan. So, oh, it's your first time. That's what I thought, Tay. Hey, yeah, definitely hit that follow, Tay. Okay, please. You did follow me. Okay. Great. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on TikTok, hit that follow button and hit that like button. Definitely. All right. Keep hitting that like button. Let's get over 6,000. Let's get to Garrett's question though. And Garrett, by the way, sent me a tiny times 1. I guess it's telling me how many you sent me. I don't know. I've never seen that before. All right. I think it's Garrett Stevenson was a pitcher for the Cardinals. All those names after a while, like you have a great name. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying your name's forgettable, but it's like all those pitcher names and they're good, but they're not great. They just sort of run together after a while. Where is Garrett? Come on, Garrett. Where are you at? I'm getting some generic thing asking me about Garendo or Swift. And I'm getting someone asking me about Addison or Garrett. I'm assuming Guapo, you're talking about Garrett Wilson. I would go with Addison. I'm just doing this as I'm going along. Garendo and Swift. Swift has a pretty good matchup. Garendo's an unknown. I'm still looking for Garrett. He followed me. Garrett did, which is great. Judy. Okay, here we go. I see it, Garrett. I see it. Judy Connor. Oh. I thought you meant. See, sometimes I'm too literal, guys. I'm crazy, guys and ladies. I saw Judy Connor. And I thought you meant there was a player named Judy Connor. I'm like, Judy Connor. Okay, we got Judy, Connor, Pacheco, or Adams. Wow, that's a mix. And Al, you'll be after, I think, Garrett, Al. Al's been here before. Titled Gifter got me the mustache. Of course, I probably missed it because I'm on my phone tonight. All right. Okay. Am I just picking one, Garrett? Ooh, okay. I'll look it up. It's a lot of good names there. I'm kind of thinking Judy, as I said to someone on YouTube earlier, Judy's a solid. He got 11 points, I believe it was, against the Steelers last time. I'm thinking he's probably solid for that. He'll probably have a lot of confidence coming off his last game. Yeah, he had 11.5 points against Pittsburgh, so I think he'll be doing. He'll be happy about that. So, okay, we're going Judy. Then we're going to go Connor. Connor's been doing pretty good. Pacheco. The only thing about Pacheco, I'm just going to throw out there, and I don't want to stress it because I tend to do that sometimes. The thing about Pacheco is I'm not sure that Kansas City is ever going to unleash him, or that they might not unleash him. Judy, Connor, Pacheco, or Adams. Let's look up Adams here. All right, and I'm only picking one. Well, it looks like Connor is the best bet out of all these guys. Let's just see. Connor goes up against Seattle. Seattle against the run. Let's just look what they do. Seattle against the run is 8. They give up 13 points. Okay. I would say Connor's probably a steady, safe pick, Garrett. I don't really like Adams because I heard this term today and I can't get it out of my head. A yo-yo. He just goes up and down. Hey, Nathaniel Sampson's here. Let's go. We're back on YouTube. Yeah, Nathaniel, where are you? I thought you were my my guy on TikTok, my moderator, buddy. I'm gonna have to dock your pay for a week. Adams is a little bit of a yo-yo. I do like Connor. I think Pacheco, my fear with Pacheco is you put him in and he's at like 80% of the snaps he got last year at this time. And I think that overall will hurt his numbers. Okay. I think Connor is a solid, safe pick. If you want to roll the dice and you want a riskier pick, I think you could go with Jerry Jeudy. All right. But if you want probably 10 to 14 points, you can go with Connor. If you want to go with Jeudy and hoping that he can, put up more than 11 like he did against Pittsburgh last time, maybe he can, maybe he's on a roll and he'll put up 25. You can go that way as well, Garrett. But Connor is your safe pick. He probably gets you. And the reason why I keep huddling or whatever, my range, wide receivers and running backs, if you're new to my channel, I'm just going to tell you, running back, wide receivers, I try to get people, or I try to recommend people who average 13 or more points. Wide receivers, running back, and flex, 13 or more points. Quarterbacks, 19 or more points. Defense, kicker, 10 or more points. And tight end, 7 or more points. If you can do that, you're going to have a pretty competitive team every single time you play. All right. And right now, after 13 weeks, you're at least 7-6. You might be 8-5. You could be 9-4. You're in that top portion of your league, or you're close to it. Now, there are those weeks where you still put up a good score and they have Jamar Chase who puts up 49 points, and then there's nothing you can do about it. But that's sort of my formula that's worked for me over the years and helped me to be really competitive. So I look for those players and players, obviously, as you'll hear me say, who are consistent. I talk a lot about consistent, inconsistent players. All right. Thank you, Garrett. Don't forget, everybody, I'll just do a quick reset. We only have a few people on YouTube, but that's fine. If you have YouTube, if you have a question, send it my way. If you definitely want it read, you can send a gift. Al, you are next. All right, Al. We have Pacheco, Debo, or Thielen. All right, let's look it up. Pacheco, Debo, or Thielen. This is going to be interesting. Pacheco. And the one thing I always try to do is I try to, this is a good one. All right. We have Debo going up against Chicago. Chicago going up against wide receivers is 19th. Let's see here. We have Thielen going up against Philadelphia. I don't like that matchup at all. That's a very tough matchup. And we have Pacheco against the Chargers, and they tend to be better than average against running backs. The best matchup is actually Debo going up against Chicago. It's the best matchup. However, even with that, just bear with me, I don't know that any of these three players gets to that 13 points that I've been talking about, Al. All right. I think Pacheco probably gets you 8 to 10. I think Debo If he's lucky, get you 8 to 10. And Thielen is really a wild card in my mind. And he's going up against Philadelphia, which is a very, very, very tough defense. For just to let you know, they're number one against wide receivers. So I don't like that matchup at all. I'm not saying you shouldn't play him. I was saying some of that last night about Josh Jacobs, and look at the game he had. All I'm saying is, if you're hesitant about Thielen, I wouldn't put him in. It's a tough matchup going in. Hey, Tay. Tay's back. I'll look for your question again, Tay, if you have another one. I do like Debo's matchup. However, his points have been in the toilet lately. So, I think Pacheco safely gets you 8 to 10 points. I think if you want to play Debo, who has the best matchup of all three, you can, but it's a riskier pick because I'm not sold on the fact that he's going to get more than 10 points himself. So I would go Pacheco as a safe pick. He probably doesn't get you 13 points because they're kind of playing him with kid gloves or taking it easy with him. I don't know that he'll be on the normal snaps that he had last year. Debo should be fine. However, he's just not putting up the points that he was or that we would like for him to put up. So there's a lot of question marks there, and Thielen has a tough matchup. So I'm going Pacheco as a safe pick. If you want to roll a little bit more of the dice, I then would go with Debo. Thank you very much, though, Al, for your support and for being part of the show. Tay is back, my man. All right. Tay, don't forget, man. I know it's like your first time, I think. Somebody's first time. Don't forget, I also have subscriptions, and I know it's like $2.99 a month, but they're really good because the bonus of the subscription outside of tonight is you get me on DMs on TikTok every single day of the week. Like you can send me something at 7 a.m. I'll get back. All I ask is that you give me about 2 hours before game time. Like people were sending me things, kickoff. I'm in Central Time was 12:15. People were sending me things at 12:10. I'm like, I didn't see it. I was like, going to the bathroom before the game kind of thing. But please look into those subscriptions. They're $2.99 a month. It's for 4 weeks. It'll help you through the playoffs. You can get me at any time online through TikTok DM. So I help a lot of people out. I have a good number of subscriptions. Also a benefit. Usually I have the list on my live stream, so you'd be seeing that tonight. Unfortunately, though, I put these 3 lines on, these 3 lists. So, and then that means if I make a video out of this, then you're in the video, your name's in the video forever. But all right, is Mike Evans a lock start, and how many points do you expect from him this week? Great question. Let me look it up right now. Wide receiver, Mike Evans. Yeah. I think these numbers are low. Let me look something else up. Oh, that's right. Can't go there. Let's see. Projected. What is Mike Evans projected at? All right. Mike Evans is no longer he was having a hamstring calf thing, but it's been removed. That's good. He's projected at 12.78. But he goes up against Las Vegas. Vegas against wide receivers is not very good. They give up 26.1 points. Realistically, I see Mike Evans, as I said just a second ago, he's projected on one of the sites at like 12.78. So right around 12 on a couple sites, okay? I think he's going to get, based on the fact that he's playing the Raiders and they're not very good against wide receivers, I think Mike Evans probably gives you a range of 12 to 17. Now, that's a wider range. Remember, the Raiders give up 26.1 points to wide receivers on average every week for the last 4 weeks. So there's essentially 26 points to get from the Raiders. And it's, who gets that? Does Jalen, it's not McMillan. Jalen with Tampa Bay. Is it Mike Evans? I think Mike Evans probably gets you right around 15, give or take 2 points. So that's what I think Mike Evans does. So I think he'll have a good week. He's not on the injured report anymore, so he's good to go. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do this weekend. That might be one heck of a great game too. All right, let me just reset real quick. If you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, don't forget to hit that like button. On YouTube, you only get to do it once. On TikTok, you can do it and keep doing it. We're at 6,300 likes. Let's get that to 7,000 if we can, because I know the more likes, the better everything is. Also, if you're on TikTok, hit that follow button. I go live almost every single day, and I'd love to help you out. I'd love to read your questions. We are all caught up on gifts, I believe, at this time. So if you want to send a gift, that's your golden ticket. You move right to the front of the line. If not, I'll be picking out some freebie rando questions and getting to those folks, unless I've missed a gift or two. And sometimes I do that. I know some people have followed me, and I do appreciate that. I was on my phone. It's hard to see who followed me, so I can't always get to those folks. Guapo, Jordan Addison or Wilson at flex? I thought I answered this one. Maybe not for you. I would go with Addison. Garrett Wilson's not putting up enough points. Dylan Nagel asked, what does XX mean? I don't know. I just wanted it to stand out. I think that they would be in the list, but they're just outside the list. Let's call it that way. And actually, there is no meaning for the XX. It's not like they've done, dirty films or anything like that. But it's just because they weren't in the top 15. I didn't know really what to label it, so maybe that's my fault on that one. Garrett Wilson, T, and T's been around. If this is the same T, I don't know. T's pretty common. I'm getting a lot of that. What does XX mean? XX means that they're not in the top 15. That's all. But they're people you should be on the lookout for. And if they're available, you should try to pick them up and or use them. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button on TikTok. Garrett Wilson asked T, question mark. Garrett Wilson, question mark. Here's the thing about Garrett Wilson. He's not putting up good numbers anymore. It's not even like he's a yo-yo. He's just not putting up good numbers. And because he's not putting up good numbers, I don't even recommend starting him right now. All right. There was about 2 months ago where you could start him and he was putting up in the 20s, or a month ago he's putting up in the 20s. But now he's not even getting into double digits. So I'm really down on Garrett Wilson. Plus, I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't look very good. Obviously he's not in my top 15. He's probably wouldn't be in my top 20 of quarterbacks. So he's fallen pretty hard. And one of the casualties has been Garrett Wilson. He just is not putting up any points anymore. All right. Everybody's asking me what the XX means. The XX just means they're not in the top 15. There's no other reason for it. Sorry about that. Next time I'll handle that much better. Camden asks, ETN, Dottle, or Ladd McConkey in the flex? Well, I'll look it up. I'm leaning towards either Ladd or Dottle. ETN just has not been putting up, a lot of good numbers at all lately. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was telling people that if they dropped him, it wouldn't be a bad thing. So, Dottle, Ladd. And Ladd, I believe, is no longer injured. But Rico has well, here's the thing. Let me look up Ladd real quick here. Because Ladd had 15 points against Kansas City when they played the first time this season. Now, he's still listed as questionable. For Sunday's game in Kansas City, he's tending to not only a long-standing AC joint sprain in his shoulder, but a sprained knee that he suffered this past Sunday in Atlanta. Well, Camden, you're going to have to watch and see if Ladd McConkey even plays. They play I'm guessing the noon game. Nope, they play the night game. What am I saying? The night game. So you're not going to know until 90 minutes before that game. So you won't know, but you'll want to check the injury reports for a while tomorrow and see if he lists. I think, as I said, he had 15 points in week 4 against Kansas City. We all know you can throw against Kansas City. Over the last 3 weeks, he's gotten 15, 11.3, and 16.2 points. So he does have momentum going into this game. You can throw against Kansas City. I do think that, though, with this injury, he might be a little bit of a risk. And because of that, if you want a safer choice based on the matchup against the Giants, I would go with Dottle. So what I'm doing is I'm giving you a 2-part answer. I'm saying if you want sort of a safe choice, go with Dottle because they're playing Cincinnati. Why do I keep saying the Giants? I'm sorry. They played the Giants last week. That's why. They play Cincinnati. You can run against Cincinnati. Let me just double check on that real quick. The Bengals. Oh boy. I can't. Yeah, the Bengals are not very good against the run. They're 27th. So I would go Rico Dottle as a safe pick. If you want a steady pick, you figure he's probably good for 10 to 14 points, somewhere in that range. But if you want to roll the dice and get to 15 or over kind of thing, I would go with Ladd McConkey. But Rico Dottle is the safer choice. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to jump over to YouTube real quick. Riggs asks, in a rough spot at tight end this week, start one PPR. Freiermuth, Kincaid, or Ferguson? Let me look it up real quick. Where are we at? No, that's not what I wanted. Boop, boop, boo. Freiermuth, Kincaid, or Ferguson? Yeah, I'd go Freiermuth. What did he? Let me just look and see what he got. I would say it's between Freiermuth and Dalton Kincaid. I might have said Dylan. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm not smoking. I'm not drinking. Let's see. Pat. The last time against Cleveland, he only got 7.9 points, but that's a tight end. That's actually not a bad number for tight ends. One of my goals is to get 7 points for tight ends. So I would go with Freiermuth. He had 15 against Cincinnati. They played Cleveland again, but remember those conditions in Cleveland week 12 were snowy and wet. It was, the field was wet. It was snowing. Not a great day for passing. Not a great day for footwork, that's for sure. So I would go with Freiermuth there. All right, my buddy over on YouTube, Nathaniel, asked, what's the best defense? Let's look that up. Can I look that up? What is the best defense, guys? We got to talk about defense sometimes. We have Raiders, Dolphins, Saints. You have 3 defenses? Miami? I think it might be Miami. I don't think it's going to be New Orleans. Oh, it is New Orleans because they're playing the Giants. That's why. Yep. I'd go New Orleans because they play the Giants. If you want a safe pick, though, that's a little bit riskier because New Orleans isn't like a juggernaut when it comes to defense. It's just relying on the fact that the Giants aren't very good offensively. If you want a safe pick, Nathaniel, my man, I would go with Miami. They're a real safe pick. They're a very good defense. So thank you, though, for that question. All right. I have been slacking on my duties. Let's see here. Don't forget, everyone, to like this stream on TikTok and YouTube. Hit that follow button on TikTok. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That would be awesome. Let's see here. The double X doesn't mean anything. I'm just going to get rid of it. Can I? Oh, is this a picture? Oh, this is a screenshot. The double X doesn't mean anything. No one's died, nothing like that. It just means they didn't make the top 15. Okay? They didn't make the top 15. I should just not even put that up there. The double X just means that they didn't make the top 15, but their names you should you must hate the Lions. No, I didn't put no. K Money. It's only the list is for the remaining players for week 14. So it doesn't include people with buys and it doesn't include last night's game. So I don't hate the Lions. I don't hate Green Bay. They're not on there, or they shouldn't be on there. And I don't hate Baltimore. I don't hate Derrick Henry. He's not on there because they have a bye. It's only people who are playing this week. Daniel Cristino. I would go Westbrook Ikhine all day. It's a good matchup against the Jags. He's been putting up good points. He has a great chemistry with his quarterback, Will Levis. I think Ikhine should put up at least 13 or more points on Sunday. So you can start him fairly confidently. I promise. Or I would. I mean, I have him starting on, I think, all three of my teams, actually. I have a bunch of buys, and I picked him up, and I think he'll have a good day. I mean, I think he's going to at least put up 13 points, which in a 10-team league, 13 points is overly competitive to the point where you have a good chance of winning. Saquon, Mr. Bleed Green, asked Saquon 220 yards, 2 TDs. Whoa, what? Are you saying that's what he's going to get in week 14? I don't know about that. 220 is hard to predict, dude. 2 touchdowns, yeah, against Carolina. Let me see. I think he gets 2 touchdowns. I think he has a good chance of getting 2 touchdowns. Over 200 yards, I don't think so, because at that point, they're probably just going to put in backups because they'll be just demolishing the Panthers at that point. So I think he gets maybe 2 touchdowns early, and then they put Gainwell or Shipley or whoever else in to run. Gainwell, that's a great name for a running back, isn't it? Kenneth Gainwell. God, that's a great name for a running back. You couldn't write a book any better. Oh, he's going after the record. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know that they keep him in for that, because you're going after a record, but they want to win a championship. And at some point, the rubber has to hit the road, and somebody's got to make a decision. You can't just go up there for some, his record isn't going to help them win a championship. I don't think he left the Giants thinking he wanted to, break the record books. I think he left the Giants and signed with Philly to win a championship. But who knows? I mean, maybe they'll keep him in so he can get as many possible rushing yards as possible. I just don't think it's easy to predict 220 yards. The 2 touchdowns I have no problem with. I think he'll get close to that. All right, Mr. Bleed, thank you for the lightning bolts. Love the lightning bolts, by the way. All right, let's see. I think we're all caught up on. Oh, and last question: Rico Dowdle or Charbonnet and flex? I would go Rico Dowdle. He has a much better matchup. The Bengals cannot stop the run. So, Daniel Cristino, I would definitely go with Rico Dowdle. And Daniel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be part of these lives more often. I go live almost every day, and I talk fantasy. Right now I'm talking fantasy football, but soon I'll be talking fantasy basketball, then fantasy baseball, and then fantasy football. All right, where are we at with everybody here? I want to answer some questions. All right, we have Trony or T-Rony7. Love the name, by the way. He or she is asking DK, Jacoby, Pollard. Let's look it up. Let's see what we got. I like Jacoby in this matchup, but let's see. My sinuses are whack. All right, we got Jacoby. I bet you they like Metcalf. They like Metcalf on this. Yeah. I think Jacoby Myers is a better pick than DK. DK hasn't been putting up the points, and because of that, they're saying Tony Pollard, huh? Against Jacksonville, yeah. All right. Well, I'm getting a Tony Pollard vibe, but if you want to go, I would say Tony Pollard to me. He's a little bit more of a solid pick. He's not completely a risky pick. He's a solid pick, Tony Pollard. I would say Tony Pollard is a good pick. If you want something maybe a little bit safer, but not as many potential points, maybe it's 12 to 14, I would go with Jacoby Myers. I think that he, he's put up 14, or he hasn't played Tampa Bay before, but he's been putting up some good numbers the last few weeks. And I think he's a safe pick, but Pollard is actually probably, maybe Myers is 50% safe and Pollard's 20% safe. So Pollard is a good pick in this game. They're going up against Jacksonville. He's been putting up some good numbers. He's a good pick in this regard. But, if you wanted to put in Jacoby Myers because he has been a little bit more consistent, you could definitely do that. But I think Pollard is a good pick. So, all right. Debo, Adams, Devontae Smith, Adams. Huh? What am I missing? Debo, Adams, Devontae Smith, Hollywood Fisherman. Do you mean somebody else other than Adams twice? I'm honest to God, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying you have Adams twice. I'm just thinking of Devontae Adams. Is there another? Well, I'll just look it up. Because sometimes I'm too literal and people are like, duh, dingbat. I'm talking about Russell Wilson. No, there's only one Adams. So I think what you might have thought Hollywood Fisherman is another wide receiver, and you put Adams twice by mistake. So if you can, all right, here we go. Ooh, oh yeah, Devontae. Okay, wow, we'll see here. This is going to be a fun one here. So Hollywood Fisherman, we're all caught up on gifting. So if you want to jump to the head of the line, you can send a gift on either YouTube. YouTube now has gifts, just like TikTok, which is kind of cool. And all right, Daniel subscribed. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Nathaniel, too, for thanking Daniel. Nathaniel. Okay. Wilson. Let's go. Wilson. And see, in this regard, I know you're not talking about Russell Wilson, although there's been times where I've thought that. And someone had to say, duh, I'm talking about all wide receivers, you idiot. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, duh. All right, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith. I have heard people call him Devonta Smith, and it drives me nuts. And Debo. All right. Well, wow, okay. The information I'm getting is everybody's leaning towards Debo Samuel. But what is Chicago against the wide receivers? Oh, they're 19th. Yeah. They're saying Debo Samuel, but that Wilson, I wouldn't put Wilson in, man. He is a yo. Now he's not even a yo-yo anymore. He's just not putting up any points. I would say Debo Samuel or Devontae Adams. I actually think, let me look up both and see what they've done over the last week or so. Or last couple of weeks, I mean. My sinuses are really messed up right now. 2-2-4. Oh God. How do I endorse that? He's just not putting up any numbers, Debo. I'm probably gonna have to. Yeah, I got to go with Devontae Adams. I mean, Miami. Well, let's see. Miami's better than Chicago. That's the problem. Miami's a lot better against Chicago than Chicago. Miami gives up 17.9 points to wide receivers on average over the last 4 weeks, and the Bears give up 22. So that's a difference of, well, it's only actually 4 points. Man, I'm really leaning towards Devontae Adams. I'm going against some other folks in their vote. Yeah, I'm gonna say Devontae Adams. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think Devontae Adams is gonna have a better day. Debo Samuel's been putting up small poultry numbers, like 2-4 points, those kinds of things. So I have a hard time endorsing anything even close to that. So, all right, everybody, let's see here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Keep hitting that like. We're at 7,100 on TikTok. Let's get up. Nico Collins asks B user 638. Let's see. What I'm trying to think has he been on an injury report? Is that where? Oh, Nico Collins isn't on that list, user 638, because he doesn't play. He has a bye. That's why. What's on the list? And I should probably have put this in here because everybody's asking me about the X's and everything else. People are getting mad about Cooper Kupp. Well, that's why I'm here. The X's just mean that they didn't make the top 15, but they're people you should know about. Okay, the double X's. Nico Collins is not on this list. Jaden Reed is not on this list because if they've already played in week 14 or if they have a bye this week, they are not on this list. This is only for the remaining teams in week 14. That's why QB week 14. And maybe behind it, I'll say, I had something above it that said not after Thursday's game. So Cooper Kupp averages 110 yards, 9 receptions, and 1 TD against Buffalo. Okay. He had 2 points last week. Let's look him up. I never, ever shy away from someone telling me just the way it is. And you're probably doing just that. Puka got all the points last week. And it's clear, he got 3 points. Kupp did last week. That Puka, they were going up against New Orleans. New Orleans is not a good team. And he got 3 points. And he only had 6 targets and 3 catches. So something's going on there. Something is going on in San Francisco. I don't know if it's Purdy. I don't know if it's the fact that CMC got hurt, but I have a real hard time with Cooper Kupp right now. He may have averaged that in the past. I'm not seeing anything in the analytics that makes me feel good about him doing that this week because his number against such a weak team was so bad. And you have to remember the one thing about it, and here's the one thing that people, I don't think, fully realize. The Bills are pretty good against wide receivers. They average 19.3 points, which means they give up 19.3 points to wide receivers on average every week for the last 4 weeks. So if you split that with Puka, how many does he get? Does he get 10 and Puka gets 9? Does Puka get 15 and he gets 4? What's the split on that? And I know that everything's not, black and white, and it's, they're definitely only going to get 19.3 points. I understand that they might get 25, but you have other receivers on that team, and the Bills are not that bad defensively. They've gotten better in the last couple of weeks. They've really moved up in a lot of categories, and one of them is against wide receivers. So, Grayson, I totally get what you're saying. I just have a hard time endorsing him because of his recent play, because of the fact that Puka really outscored him last week. Okay. You wouldn't think that he would get 3 points against New Orleans. New Orleans, on the other hand, just to let you know, is 31st in the NFL, and they averaged 29.9 points. And, he got 3 last week. So I just have an issue with the way, and Purdy didn't have a good game either. So, it could have just been a bad game. So chalk it up to that. I don't want to be overly, I have him on, I think, two of my 3 teams. So I like him. I just, just sort of out of the blue that he had 3 points last week. All right. Let's see. Then why do you have Puka so high? Because Puka is the number 1 with the Rams right now. He's clearly the number. They're both great receivers, but for whatever reason, Puka outscored him last week by a lot. And the information that I've been reading all week about it is that Puka has somehow emerged as the clear number 1 in LA. And I did not think that that was the case, but that's what I'm hearing right now. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's some sort of mutiny going on or something like that. I don't know, but that's what I'm seeing right now. So that's just, it's just one of those things. We can agree to disagree. I think I think Puka probably gets the majority of the points this week based on last week. Maybe I'm short-sighted. I could be, Grayson, I could be completely wrong about that. But based on last week, so all I can do is look at the analytics and base my theory moving forward. And my theory is, from what I'm reading and from last week's game, Puka got the majority of the balls thrown to him. And so I'm going with that into week 14. And you know what? You're probably right. I'm probably going to be way off on this, but we'll see. I'm basing it on last week though. All right, let's see what else we got here. But thank you, Grayson. I really do appreciate it. And anytime, guys, if you think that I'm crazy, call me out. I have no problem with it. I love a nice debate as long as we don't start yelling at each other and talking about each other's moms or something like that. We'll be fine. Hey, Grayson, thank you very much, buddy. I do appreciate it. And Grayson, don't forget to follow me. I love the fact that you're involved, engaged. I love it. I love it. I love it. And do me a favor, follow me so you know when I'm on. And when I do something you don't like, call me out on it. Okay. And you know what? Maybe I look, maybe I was looking at it incorrectly. Maybe I wasn't giving him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe because he's on my team and teams and I started him, I was mad at him. It could be a combination of all of those things. But again, from what I read, it just didn't look great for him. All right. Cody Triple X, not to be confused with the X's up here, which mean nothing. And the names in this list are only the names of the players who still have games remaining in week 14. It's not a list of who are the best in the NFL. It's just who I think will do well in the remaining games Sunday and Monday. Okay. Tracy or Ickine. This is going to be interesting here. I bet you they tell me that it's Tracy based on the matchup. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, they're going with Tracy. New Orleans against the run. Let's just look this up real quick. New Orleans against the run. They give up 21.1 points. All right. And Jacksonville against the pass. Let's just see that real quick. Jacksonville gives up 25.9. But you have to figure that Tracy's going to get the bulk of the carries, and they still have Ridley playing with Westbrook Ickine. Let me just double check something. Yeah, they still have Ridley. So I'm going to say that I believe that Tyrone Tracy has the potential of having more points than Ickine. I think Ickine probably gets, I think I've said somewhere along, 11 to 14, maybe 12 to 15. I said, I think Tracy gets a solid 13 to 15. So it's a little in my head. It's a little bit more. His minimum is a little bit higher than Ickine's. So I would go with Tracy based on the matchup. But to me, Ickine is a little bit more of a gamble only because, we have two kind of similar bad teams playing each other, and you never know how that's going to go. Although the Giants aren't very good, so. But I would go with Tracy. Tracy and New Orleans isn't that great of a team. They started off great, but they're not great anymore. So I would go Tracy as the tried and true good points. If you want to roll the dice and someone that has a better upside, if you will, it would be Ickine. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, he's gotten 19 points. I don't know that Tracy's gotten that high. So what I'm saying is that he has a higher ceiling. Ickine does. Westbrook Ickine. He got 19, he got 22. He hasn't done that in a while. Last 4 weeks, 7, 14, 7, 13. He's had 19, 11, 18, 4, 13. Maybe it's not the ceiling. Yeah, I think both of them probably are around 13 points this week. I do think Tracy has the potential of, because New Orleans gives up 21 points to running backs, and he's essentially the number one running back there with the Giants, he might have 13 to 18 points where Ickine won't get that high. All right. Ickine won't get that high. Don't tell the NFL I said that. All right. Do I start Kupp or Jakobi Meyers? Well, that's a great question. If I don't know if Grayson's still around. Grayson and I were having a sort of a debate on Kupp and and him going up against Buffalo and his averages and things, he might say Kupp. I guess what I'd say in this scenario right now to you is Jakobi Meyers to me would be a safe pick because he's going up against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay you can obviously pass against or pass around. Nathaniel, I'm not going to lose to your brother. Trust me. No way. Okay. So, but Jakobi Meyers is like a safe pick. He might get you 12 to 15 points. Now, Kupp Jakobi Meyers probably gets you like 11 to 13 points. Let's just put it that way, at least. And Kupp could get you anywhere from 12 to 15, so he might have a little bit of a higher side. Dare I say he's a touch riskier given what he did or didn't do last week, and the information that I got, whether it's true or not, is the fact that Puka is the clear number one there in Los Angeles, which I hadn't heard until this past week. So I think it's a little bit riskier. You got to figure though, Kupp will be wanting the ball because he won't want 3 points again. But Jakobi Meyers is a safe pick. He'll get you pretty close to that 13 points that I'm always talking about in a 10-team league, and that's what most of you guys play in. In a 10-team league, you want your wide receivers and running backs and flex at 13 or more points. You want your quarterbacks at 19 or more. You want your defense and kicker 10 or more. You want your tight end at 7 or more. And if you do that, you're going to be really competitive. You might even be the best team in the league because it depends, if you have Saquon Barkley versus Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is pretty good, but he doesn't put up the numbers Saquon does. So you see where I'm going with that when I say like 13 or more. But Jakobi Meyers is a safe pick. If you want a little bit more of a risk given what he did last week and the fact that Puka got all the numbers or all the points last week, you can go with Kupp. But Jakobi's probably a safe pick, given also the matchup. It's a good quality matchup for him. All right, let's see. MVS or Mooney? And let's see. Marquez Valdez. This is a good one. This is a good question. Marquez Valdez Scantling, everybody, or Mooney. Let's see. Now there, Mooney against Minnesota. See, I just don't. Minnesota against wide receivers. Where are we at here? Minnesota's 18th. Marquez is up against the Giants. Giants against wide receivers. The G-men are 6th, actually. So Marquez has a tougher matchup than Mooney. So the Vikings give up 22.0 points to wide receivers on average per week the last 4 weeks. The Giants give up 15.6 points on average per week over the last 4 weeks. So it's a different, almost a little over 6 points. So based on that, I would say Mooney but the thing with Mooney is he is sharing some of those catches. He is sharing some of those catches with Drake London. So it's not like he's going to get all 22 of those points, but he probably gets you, 10 to 13. And Scantling, gets you maybe 9 to 12-ish, kind of, I think, in that area. Maybe 8 to 12. So I would go with Mooney by just a hair. If you want to gamble, though, you could go with MVS in hopes that, since he's really the number one in New Orleans, maybe he bites off more than just 10 or 11 points. Maybe he bites off of that 17. Maybe he gets, 13 to 14 of those. So, all right, let's see. What do we got? We're all caught up on gifts. Let me look at YouTube real quick. All right, we have just a few people on YouTube. We have a bunch on TikTok. If you want me to read your questions, you can always send me You can always send a gift. That's your way of getting to the head of the line. Emilio Garcia, who is gifted in the past, asked Puka or Higgins. Let's look it up. Oh, let's see. Dub Nation, need two. Neighbors, Mooney, Addison, Westbrook. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to look up. I'll jump back to YouTube in just a second. And real quick, if you're watching this, don't forget to hit that like button on YouTube and TikTok. And if you're on TikTok, hit that follow. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you can know when I'm on live. I'm going to be talking fantasy a lot over the next few weeks, fantasy football. I'm going to do fantasy basketball. I'm going to do fantasy baseball. We're going to do it all. So if you have any of those teams, you can come back and watch those. But I will be doing fantasy football for what, like another 3 weeks at least, as everyone winds down their playoffs. Okay, the double X just means they're not at that. The double X on my thing just means they're not in the top 15. I took a screenshot. I should just get rid of the X's. Also, these are just players. The list just includes players who haven't played yet in week 14. It doesn't include people from last night's game or people on a bye. So I just want to be 100% clear on that. Dub Nation, Neighbors, Mooney, Addison, Westbrook, Ickheim, Elijah Moore, Kenneth Walker. I tend to think Addison, Westbrook, Ickheim, Addison and Westbrook Ickheim. And then if you don't want to go that way, although, yeah, Addison, Westbrook Ickheim. If you don't want to go with Westbrook Ickheim, I would go with Kenneth Walker then, Dub Nation. All right. Emilio, Puka or Higgins? That's the one I was looking up. Puka or Higgins? All right. I would say Puka, but Higgins probably will have a good game. So you have a good problem, I guess. They do go up against Buffalo. Buffalo's not bad. If you're going based on matchups, T. Higgins has a better matchup with Dallas. However, we all know that, you know, there's Jamar Chase on the field. We know Dallas is not very good against the pass. Where are they? Oh, actually, they're number 9 against the pass, right? Yeah, so they're not bad. They're not bad. And Buffalo is number 11. So actually, on paper, Puka has the better matchup. So yeah, I would go with Puka in that scenario. Thank you, Emilio, and thank you for being on other lives earlier. All right. Sammy, so we're all caught up on gifting. So if you want to send me a gift, you'll move to the front of the line. They have gifting now on YouTube, so you can gift like you do on TikTok on YouTube. If you want to gift me, you can jump to the head of the line. Let's see, I just missed the person I was going for. Okay, Sammy Moseni, Tracy Jr. or Braylon Allen. I would go Tracy Jr. Well, I go with Tracy because we know what Tracy can put up. Okay, Braylon Allen is a little bit of an unknown, and while you have Tracy, I wouldn't use Braylon Allen. If you didn't have Tracy, you know, or if you had somebody that was injured or you had ETN or somebody like that, I might say Braylon Allen because he's filling in for Brees. But since that's not the case, I would go with Tracy because everything that I'm looking at, all the stats, all the experts, everybody's saying that Tracy should have, probably 13 to 16 points. And that's good enough in almost any league, really. All right, Murray or Winston, asks Dub Nation. Let's look it up. Murray or Winston? I bet you they say Murray. I think Winston could have a good game. Yeah. They go up against Seattle. Seattle against quarterbacks, though. Let's see real quick. Seattle's 7th against quarterbacks. And Pittsburgh is 8th. So there's really no difference there. Why are they saying Kyler Murray? Yeah, Pittsburgh's a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I would probably go Kyler Murray because the matchup, Pittsburgh, is a little bit tougher overall throughout the season on quarterbacks than Seattle is. And for that reason, I would go with Murray. All right, let's see. Hey, Johnny Tuparelli, thank you. You're helping people out. I love to see that on my chat. Pollard or Tyreek? Let's look it up, Tanner. I do like Pollard's matchup, and I bet you, well, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. Pollard has a good matchup. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I would go Tony Pollard. I would go Tony Pollard over Tyreek. That, going against Jacksonville. Let's just see. The Jets. Jacksonville against the run. We'll look that up first. They're 30th. They give up 25.8 points. They're horrible against the run. The Jets give up 19.9. And Waddle's going to, catch some balls and some other folks are. So, yeah, I would go with Pollard. It's a much better matchup, a lot more points. And even if they get a lead, Pollard will probably run a little bit more too. So he'll probably even keep getting points. So anyway, you got the name right. Thanks, man. Appreciate the insight. I'll roll. All right. Hey, don't forget, if you're on TikTok, hit that like button. Let's get to 7,500. We're at 7,300. And also, don't forget to hit follow. I go live almost every single day. I'd love to get you guys on more of my live streams. All right, Kason Gamrat. Gamrad? It's either Gamrad or Gamrat. But all right, he's asking about Otten or Engram. Now I'm going to look that up. I would usually say Otten's not putting up any points and just almost move on. But let me look here. Let's look at it. Cade Otten. Yeah, I think Cade's been putting up like 7 points. So, which isn't, it's not where he had 4, 3. Oh God. Las Vegas against tight ends. I don't know that I agree with this. Oh no, Las Vegas is 30th against tight ends. So yeah, I would go Cade Otten. It's a much better matchup. Yeah. Let's see. Tennessee. I'll just look up Tennessee though while I'm here. Uh-oh. What'd my computer just do? Tennessee, the Titans. Where are we at, Titans? Oh my God, I can never find these things. Okay, they're 13th. So they're a little bit tougher. Yeah, the Raiders they give up 12.7. I'd go Cade Otten. Although he hasn't been putting up great numbers. Let me look up Engram real quick. Let me look him up. Hey, Brent Rice, thank you for the gifts. You will be next. Appreciate it. Let me look up Engram. I mean, Engram has been putting up at least 7 points 3 of the last 4 weeks. Otten hasn't done that. Otten has 4, 3, 6, and then 17. That's a game against Kansas City, but he's tailed off tremendously, and he went up against the Giants and Carolina, and Carolina's 25th against tight ends. So I would say that Engram is probably the better pick here. I'm going to go with Engram, Kaysen. I'm going to go against some of the stuff they're saying about Otten. I would go with Engram. All right, let's see here. Brent Rice. What do we got? I see the roses. Where's the quest? Okay, Garrett Wilson or Davante Adams. Well, Miami's going to be Miami's tougher against the Jets. Based on defense, I'd go Davante Adams because the Jets are not very good, but Miami is. Wait. Yeah. Oh, you have 2 Jets players. Duh. They're both playing Miami. Okay, I'll just look it up. Yeah, I'd go Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams has been putting up better points. Garrett Wilson had, a month ago was still putting up good points, but he isn't anymore. So I would go Devontae Adams on this one. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I would love for Garrett Wilson. He's still on one of my teams. I'd love for him to start, getting 20s and 18s like he was earlier, but he just isn't doing it. Thank you, Brent Rice. Appreciate it. Don't forget on TikTok to hit that follow button. I go live almost every single day. Love to have you on board. Also on YouTube, if you hit that subscribe button, would love it. Hit that like button on YouTube and hit that like button on TikTok. We're up to 7,300 likes. Let's try to get it to 7,500. Tyrone Tracy or JSN or Calvin Ridley. This is from Lil Crip. All right. I'm just picking one, right? I mean, I'm assuming I'm just picking one. So let's go Smith. All right. And then Ridley. Look, the thing about Ridley is I know, yeah, I'm going Tyrone Tracy. I just think it's a good matchup for him against New Orleans. It's a very good matchup. And Calvin Ridley, in my own humble opinion, is losing a lot of points to my man Westbrook Ikine and Jackson JSN. Essentially, the thing that scares me about him is, will DK get back to being DK, or will Jackson Smith have one heck of a good game, and put up some points? I think Tracy's a steady pick. Actually, if you want a riskier pick, I would put JSN in because he has done well over the last few weeks, even with Metcalf. But Metcalf has been taken off the injury report, which is a good thing. But my question is, how much is he still injured? Why did I look up Metcalf? I gotta look up Smith. Oh God, where are we at here? Jeez, it's like I don't know what I'm doing. All right. 9, 16, 16, 33. I mean, he had 9.9 against the Jets. He goes up against Arizona. Yeah, I would say that JSN might, you could play JSN if you want to take a risk. If you want safe 13 points, go with Tyrone Tracy. And 13 points is going to do you pretty good in any league. 10 teams, a 10 team league, 13 points is fantastic. It's one of my goals is to get 13 points with my wide receivers, running back, and flex. So I think that's good. All right. What about Bill's defense this week? And this is from Alien Spaceship Guy, who I think spammed me a few times, but that's fine. No big deal. Bill's defense this week. You just want to know sort of my thoughts, huh? Well, let's see. Against the Rams. Well, let's look up their defense overall. Okay, Buffalo. The Bills again. Oh, I don't care about tight ends. Okay, the Bills against quarterbacks. They're number 2, which means they're going to put a lot of heat on Stafford. Okay, so let's look at wide receivers. I think they're pretty good on wide receivers. They're 11. They give up 19.3 points against quarterbacks. Let me just go back to that. They give up 16.2. So the Bills, on average, give up 16.2 points over the last 4 weeks to quarterbacks. 16.2. Now, 16.2 points by a quarterback in a 10-team league is about average. It's not going to help you win, but it'll help you be solid that week, okay? Now, what they do against wide receivers, and you got to figure that every team has at least 2 wide receivers, they give up 19.3 points. So if you just split the difference, it's 10 and 9. So they do pretty well against wide receivers. And they should do well then against Puka, and they should do well against our guy, Cooper Kupp Although I know Grayson said I think he averaged 110 yards per game against Buffalo. Buffalo against the run is 15th. They give up 16.3 points. So, and usually, unless you play Detroit, there's like one running back or Tampa Bay, I guess. So I see it as maybe running back is maybe their weaker position because they give up so many points, and usually the running back, it might be what they give up they might give up 13 to the number one running back and 3 to the backup. They give up 16 points to the quarterback. They give up 19 to run wide receivers, and you split that two ways. So the running back probably gets the most points that day. So, from that standpoint, it could be, where are we at here? Could be a good day for Kyren Williams, and he hasn't had a lot lately. So, all right, Judy or Tracy, asked Lionel. The safest bet, Lionel. Why am I saying Lionel? You're not a train. Tracy's the safest bet. He should have a good game. He should have 12 to 15 points ish. Judy had 11 against Pittsburgh last time. I'm thinking he might be a little more confident. Maybe he reaches 13. 13 is an important number to me because in a 10-team league, which most of you play in 10-team leagues, I always want my wide receivers and running backs to at least get 13 points. So I would say Tracy's the safe, steady pick. If you want to roll the dice and see if Judy has any momentum from the last game, which he put up on, some crazy great numbers, I would go with, unless you want to do that, and that's a riskier pick, I would go with Tracy. Avi Cha-Cha, I guess I'm losing a lot of people. Josh Jacobs is not up here, and I'm glad you asked this question because I'm not going to post this again as it is. This doesn't include anybody on a bye or who played last week. It's only who's left, players left for week 14. It's not, and the X's don't mean anything. They just mean that they're outside my top 15. These are only players who haven't played in week 14 yet. It doesn't include buys. It doesn't include last night's game. I'm going to have to change that because everybody's noticing that. Drake London, ? X is mad at me. I think X has been here before, or someone uses that same avatar. Well, here's the thing about Drake London. I know a lot of people love Drake London, and I like Drake London, don't get me wrong. But have you checked out what Drake London's been doing lately? He's been doing nothing. His numbers are all down. What's going on with this screen here? Hold on a second. My computer is glitching. All right, Drake London, just to let everybody know, he's had 12.8 points, 7.6, 13.7, 9.7, 5.4 since week 8. Against Tampa Bay, he had 5. Against Dallas, another weak team to pass, he had 9.7. Against New Orleans, he had 13.7, which is good. Denver, 7.6. They're decent. They're not as good as they were earlier in the year, I don't think, against the pass. And then against the Chargers, they got 12.8. He put up good numbers early in the season through about week 7. Then from about week 8, again, 5.4, 9.7. Not good enough numbers in most leagues, okay, unless it's maybe 16 or over teams. 13.7, that's good in a 10-team league. 7.6, not good. 12.8 will round up to 13. I'll say that's good. So in the last 5 weeks, he's only gotten to 13 points, and I'm rounding up on the 12.8, 2 out of the last 5 weeks. That's why I'm not high on Drake London. He's not putting the points up. It's not to say that he's not talented. It's not to say that he can't do it. He's not doing it. He's not. He's done it 2 of 5 weeks. 2 out of the 5 weeks. That's not good enough for me. Okay. I mean, if you start him, are you sure that he's even going to get double digits? Because I can't, and I'm not, please don't take it X like I'm mad. I'm not mad or anything like that. I'm just saying from my vantage point, if you start him, and I have him at least on one team, maybe two. I don't know why I can't remember that, but I have not been starting him because he's been a yo-yo. 5, 9, 13, 7, 12. It's just up and down and up and down. And the numbers, the ceiling is 13.7. He's not even giving me like 15 or 17 or something like that. So it's good. 13.7 is good. I will not complain about that, but it's not great. And that's why I'm not as high on him. Cooper Kupp. Oh my God, Chuck Fowler. I know, Cooper Kupp. Here's why Cooper Kupp is not in this. Because he had 3 points last week. And from what and this is I had someone earlier mad at me about Cooper Kupp, and I totally understand. And I love when you guys call me out. Please do. I love it. The reason why Cooper Kupp is not in here is because he had 3 points last week, and everything I read said that Puka has clearly become the number one in Los Angeles. Now that may all change. But I'm saying based on what happened last week, I am not as confident going into week 14 and putting him on the top of this list. Okay. I think Jordan Addison, I think Jerry Jeudy, and I think Brian Thomas, because of what they did last week, could have much better weeks than he did. Okay. I honestly did not know that by leaving off our man, and I have Cooper on like 2 of my teams. So I like Cooper. Maybe I'm mad because he only got 3 points and I started him last week. Maybe that is subconscious, but maybe let's say that he's 16, maybe I'll look at this again. Everybody's telling me that I'm crazy about the Cooper Kupp, but I just, given what he did last week, if Ladd plays, if he's healthy to play, I think Ladd will have more points than Cooper Kupp. I think Jacoby Myers will have more points. I think AJ Brown, if he gets everything together, I think JSN has been putting up a lot better points than even DK Metcalf, his teammate. I think Brian Thomas Jr. had a good week, and he should have a good week this week. Jerry Jeudy had 11.5 points against Pittsburgh when it was snowing and wet and horrible. I think he could put up 13 points. I don't know that Cooper Kupp's going to have 13 points this week. And I think sort of the sleeper in all this, in the top 15 is Jordan Addison. I think he's going to get things right, and I think he could have a really big day. So, yeah. Oh, R Ward 21. How is Puka 3 and Cooper Kupp isn't on the list? Well, I think I explained it. Based on last week, he had 3 points, guys. He had 3 points. Start Cooper Kupp or Garrett Wilson? Asked McIntyre. Okay, for everyone saying that I'm crazy about Cooper Kupp, and I love it. I love that everybody's annoyed or asking me questions, because that's what I want this to be a part of, guys. I don't want this to be a one-way like a lot of these are. Cooper Kupp or Garrett Wilson? I say Cooper Kupp. Garrett Wilson is not putting up points. They go up against a real tough Miami defense. I know that Buffalo is tough. Hold on, let's see. Where are we at? Where wide receiver, Buffalo's 11, Miami's 8. So Cooper has a better matchup, but they give up 19.3 points. And how many do you think Puka's going to get out of that 19.3 that Buffalo averages giving up to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks? Do you think he gets 10? Do you think if he gets 15, where does that leave Puka? Or what if Puka gets 15? Does that mean Cooper Kupp gets 4? Now, I know that they're going to get more than probably 19 points. Let's be honest, all right? But if they get 25 points, let's say that the average goes out the window and that the Bills give up 25 points to wide receivers this week, which is 6 more than their average, or 5 more, or 6 more, actually. Let's say they give up 25 points. Who gets what? Puka gets 15? And then Kupp gets 10. That's what I'm thinking here. I'm looking at the matchups here. Based on last week, Puka had a great game. Kupp did not at all. All right, Aaron Jones or Jerry Jeudy in the flex. Let's look it up. I love it. You guys anytime I put something up that you guys don't like, let me know about it. It's super easy to do. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm always open to talk about it. I mean, that's what I want in my live streams. I want you guys to say, hey, you're crazy. You're nuts. Why are you doing this? All right, here we go. We have Aaron Jones against Atlanta, and the lean is towards them. The Falcons are 30th against the run, so I would lean towards them. Jerry Jeudy in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Here's the thing. Look at it like this. Aaron Jones, sorry, I'm just repeating myself now, but where did that go? Hold on a second. I've been on for a while. Aaron Jones goes up against Atlanta. Atlanta against the run is horrible. They're 30th. They give up 28.8 points against the run, which means on paper, Aaron Jones could have 22 points and another running back could still have 6 or 7. I mean, how crazy is that? Jerry Jeudy, on the other hand, had 11.5. Oh, you know what? I take that back. Hold on. Let's see. The Falcons against the run. I was looking at the Falcons against the run give up 12.3 points against the run. I was looking up passing. All right. And Jeudy against Pittsburgh. I knew that didn't sound right. They give up 20.1. Huh. Let's look at this again. The Falcons give up 12.3. I would say Aaron Jones by like a half an inch, maybe, or like a millimeter. Aaron Jones by just a squib. I think Jerry Jeudy probably gets, 10 to 13 points. I think Aaron Jones gets 12 to 14 points in that range, or Jerry Jeudy gets, 9 to 12 or 9 to or 8 to 11. Let's say 8 to 11, and Aaron Jones gets well, let's say 9 to 12 for Jerry Jeudy. Aaron Jones gets like 10 to 14 or 10 to 13, somewhere in there. So Aaron Jones by just a smidge. The XX, just so you know, means they didn't make the top 15. When I post this again, I'm going to take out the XX and I'll explain it. These are only players who still have week 14 to play. They still have week 14 to play. They're not, if players on a bye are not listed, players who played last night are not listed. Okay. The people with the X's are just, they didn't make my top 15, but they made it down here. And I think that, they're worth a look if you really need somebody. I'm just trying to throw a lifeline to people who might need to pick somebody up and putting them out there. Ooh, Jimmy, flex Garrett Wilson or Tay. Ooh, that's probably going to end up saying Wilson on this one. Okay, when you say Tay, Jimmy, do you mean Tajay, Garrett Wilson, or Tajay Spears? Oh, Devontae. Do you mean Deontay with Baltimore? He's suspended, or they're on a bye. Deontay Johnson isn't playing this week. They're on a bye. I'm not exactly sure on the Tay. When you said that, or when you wrote that and I read it, I was thinking Tajay Spears. I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know who Tay is, Jimmy. Start Cook or Pollard? That's a good question. Cooper Kupp. Oh my God, I don't have Cooper Kupp on there. Yeah, I know. People have reminded me that I don't have Cooper Kupp on. This is about going into week 14. The reason why Cooper Kupp is not on here is because he had 3 points last week, and the matchup is pretty decent where they have where Buffalo only gives up 19.3 points to wide receivers, and I figure in that Puka is going to get the majority of those like he did last week. That's why he's not on there. Maybe I shouldn't do these lists. They seem to make her Drake London. Drake London's not on my list because he shares a lot of the catches. Hold on, my computer's all over the place. With Mooney, and he hasn't been putting up good numbers over the last couple of weeks. I mean, look at what these guys have been doing over the last few weeks. This is not about athletic ability. This is not about where they were drafted. This is, hey, Derek Wallow's here. Hey, Derek, how are you? Thank you for the roses. I should probably just take that off the screen because I'm probably getting more people mad at me. But I like the debate. I mean, I like the discussion, I should say. Drake London's not on here. He's not putting up great numbers. Okay. I know that people like him. I know that experts think that Drake London is the tops, but look at his numbers. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not annoyed. I don't feel attacked. If I sound defensive, I apologize. I'm not defensive. I'm just saying, Drake London, and I might have totally skipped over somebody else's question. I think it was Jimmy's with the Tay thing I was trying to iron out. But if you look at Drake London, again, over the last 5 weeks since week 8, he's had 5 points. Sam Dixon, you'll be after Derek Wallow. I'm just helping. Someone's asking me about my list up here, and they're bugging or not. They're annoyed at me. If you look at Drake London the last 5 weeks, he's had 5 points, 9 points, 13.7, 7.6, and 12.8. And my process here is I don't feel like I can start him safely without him, laying an egg with like a 7 or a 6. In almost any league, unless it's 16 or more teams, Drake London is not a consistent player over the last 5 weeks. Now, that's not to say he won't put up 19 points against Minnesota. However, Minnesota isn't bad against the pass. They're not great. The pass, not the past. Yeah, I mean, they give up 22 points over, where are we at here? They give up 22 points, but you got to figure Drake London, and then how many does Mooney get? How many does London get? They give up an average of 22 points. Maybe one gets, 13 and the other one gets 13. It could be one of those days, they'll pass to other people as well. So my point is, it's actually wide receiver defense, but they passed to Ray McLeod. They passed to Darnell Mooney. How many points are they going to take away? London isn't putting up those huge points week in and week out like he was at the first half of the season. That's all I meant by that. Okay, did Jimmy ever get back to me? The XX just means they're not in the top 15. It's early golf. Tracy or McConkey at flex. Malik, okay. Why are we asking about Malik Neighbors? Malik Neighbors barely puts up double digits. Malik Neighbors, Royal Stop Dog. Malik Neighbors doesn't put up, he had good points at the beginning of the season, but he hasn't been since then. It's Early Golf Company asked Tracy or McConkey at flex. I would go Tracy because he's a steady pick, but if McConkey can play, you might want to consider him a riskier, maybe a higher ceiling kind of player. I don't think Tracy's going to go, hog wild and get, more than 14 points. I think McConkey, because he got 15 against Kansas City the first time, could put up that number or more. So he has a higher ceiling, but he has been battling an injury, so he might get 8 points, he might get 18 points, where Tracy probably puts you in that 12 to 14 range pretty comfortably. So he would be the safe pick, Tracy. McConkey would be a riskier pick if you really need the extra points. All right. Who else? Who else is asking me? Drake London out of the top 15 is wild. Why is it wild? Drake London, I am not at all trying to pick a fight. Drake London has only gotten over 13 points in the last 5 weeks twice. 13 points. And that's me rounding up from 12.8 to make it 13. In week 8, he had 5. In week 9, he had 9.7. In week 10, he had 13.7. In week 11, he had 7.6. And in week 13, he had 12.8. He may be a great player, but in the last 5 weeks, he's only gotten over 12 points, or he's only gotten over 12 points, or let's say 13 points. He's only done that 2 times. So 60% of the time, he is under 10 points in the last 5 weeks. That's why he's not in the top 15. You might love him. I love him too. I have him on at least one of my teams. I think 2 actually, but I'm not starting him. He's a yo-yo. He's, up and down and up and down. In a 10-team league, you want your wide receiver getting you 13 points or more. He's only done it, and one was by, rounding up 2 times in the last 5 weeks. So 40% of the time, he gets 13 or more points. 40% of the time. That's not good enough. That's why he's out of the top 15. I know Coochie King the third. I know it's wild. I know it is. It really is. But I guess the good thing about it is this is why I love the stream right now, because we can have these conversations and you can tell me that I'm crazy. You can say that it's wild. You can say that I'm a flipping moron. Okay. I totally get it, but we can have these conversations and I'm not going to be defensive about it. I probably, though, should have like a paragraph in here so I don't have to, because I've said this a few times. So now I feel like I'm repeating myself, but all right. Sam Emilio, let's just look up. Okay. Emilio, Lamb, JSN, or Myers. I think Myers is your safe pick. It's a good matchup against Tampa Bay. I'm worried about Lamb and Cooper Rush. He's not putting up massive numbers. You can pass, though, against the Bengals. Let me just see real quick. And then JSN has put up really good numbers, even with Metcalf being back. And so I would almost look at him as a riskier pick, but a pick that, if you don't mind taking a little bit more of a risk, has a higher upside. Let's see here. Actually, I'm kind of glad I put this whole listing together because I think it's sparked a lot of people to ask a lot of questions. Yeah, see, I would say Jakobi Meyers against Tampa Bay, and they're not very good against wide receivers. They're 20th. They give up 22.4 points. Okay. And then you have CeeDee Lamb going up against Cincinnati, and they're horrible. They're last. That's a good matchup for him, though. You got to figure he gets 15, right? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's probably the pick because he probably gets 15 points because the Bengals give up almost 32 points per game on average to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks. So I would go with Lamb. A safer pick might be Myers. JSN is a little bit of a gamble, but Metcalf seems to be healthy now, so he may get his points reduced. So Lamb may be the best pick here. All right, Emilio, Sam, Derek Wallow. I got to get back. Yeah, you're right, Emilio. He does seem like he doesn't want to be there. I would agree with you. So what you might want to do in that scenario is put Myers in there. He is a safe pick. He's been putting up a lot of 14 points. I'm not saying he's going to, get 20, but I do think he should be 12 to 15 in that area. But I totally hear you on that. Yeah, is Braylon Edwards going to do good for you this week? I think he'll do fine filling in for Breece. Hopefully, he'll do even better than Breece has been doing over the last few weeks. Breece hasn't been putting up great numbers. So I think Braylon Allen is probably 8 to 11 points, maybe 7 to 11 points. I don't know that he gets 13. That's the number I'm always trying to get running backs and wide receivers, but I think he's in there. Elijah asked me, do you not think BTJ will play bad because of Mac Jones? No, I think BTJ will actually play very well. If you look at what he did against, or for the most part, what he did against Mac Jones, he had a good game last week, and apparently they have a very good chemistry or a decent chemistry, even with Lawrence out. He's a key asset to their offense. He had 16 points against Houston. Mac Jones was the quarterback for a good chunk of that game. So, yeah, I don't see why Tennessee would be any different. I think that he could continue to put up good points. I don't know that he'll get 16, but I think it's safe to say he'll be 11 to 14. I do think he'll be in that range because there is a chemistry between him and Mac Jones. And when a new quarterback like that finds somebody, they're going to pass to him a lot. Drake London. Is this a new one? Drake London is not on this list because 3 of the last 5 weeks, Drake London hasn't even scored double digits. It's not to say that Drake London isn't a great athlete, but 60% of the last 5 weeks, he has not even gone to double digits. And in the other 2 games, he has 13.7 and 12.8, which is good in a 10-team league. And that's fine. Most of you probably are in a 10-team league, but he's not right now been putting up great points. This is a list of who has good matchups going into this weekend based on recent performance. Let's just go into the elephant in the room. Puka's number 3. Where is Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp is not on this list. Cooper Kupp is not on this list because last week he got 3 points. And from what I've been reading, it appears that Puka now is the clear number 1 in Los Angeles for whatever reason. Okay. And Puka goes up against the defense, or the Rams go up against the defense that gives up just 19.3 points on average. But let's say it's 23. Let's say the Rams wide receivers get 23 points. Does Puka get 15 and Cooper Kupp get 8? They throw to other people. Is it 13, 7, and 4 or whatever it is? So that's why this is based on all 14 matchups. Okay. It's not based on who's the best. It's based on matchups for week 14 based on their performance over the last few weeks. And when it comes to Cooper Kupp, his 3 points last week and the information that I've been seeing about the fact that he is the number 2 there and not the number 1 has me somewhat worried. So if anything, maybe and Drake London's not in this list either. He's not been putting up great points over the last 5 weeks. He's only gone over 10 points 2 of the last 5 weeks. That's why he's not up there. James Conner or DJ Moore? Oh, DJ Moore's been doing really well, but I'm going to probably lean towards Conner. But let's just see. Seattle's run. Seattle's pretty good against the run. They give up 13 points. Well, let me look it up. Conner and Moore. Yeah, I'm going with Conner. San Francisco's tough against quarterbacks in the pass. Well, nope, they're not tough against quarterbacks. No. I was looking at running backs. Never mind. San Francisco is 9th against quarterbacks, and against wide receivers, they're pretty tough. They're number 2. So I'll go with James Conner based on matchups, really. What is Seattle against the run? I just said it, didn't I? They're 8. Yeah, I would go with James Conner. The X's just mean that they didn't make the top 15. And yes, there's no Cooper Kupp, and yes, there's no Drake London. It's because of the numbers they've been putting up over the last few weeks. When it comes to Drake London, he's only gotten over 10 points 2 of the last 5 weeks. Cooper Kupp is not on this list because they go up against a relatively tougher defense against wide receivers that give up 19.3 points on average, and Puka got the majority of the points last week. And based on that, I'm thinking it'll be the same way. All right. Who would you sit? Bijan, Bucky, or Kamara? I've actually seen where people are not as high on Bijan. Hold on one second. Yeah, I think Kamara's going to have a good game. Bijan. I'm gonna say Bucky because the Raiders are actually very good against running backs, and you know Bucky's going to be sharing the duties with Rashad. Hold on, my mouse is acting up. Yeah, definitely Kamara, Robinson. Yeah, and I would sit Bucky just based. It's just a matchups based thing, and the fact that he splits time. You also have very good running backs. So, I wouldn't normally say sit Bucky to almost anybody else probably that's on here, but you have Bijan and Alvin Kamara. So, yeah, so I would sit Bucky on this one, Sam Dixon. Sorry that it took me a while to get to you. I apologize for that. I'm on my phone tonight. I'm not always seeing everybody's chat. So, all right. No Drake London. Yes, there is no Drake London. There's no Drake London because where is Drake London? Okay. I'm never doing this again or if I do this again, I'm going to have to explain myself. There's no Drake London because in only 2 of the last 5 weeks, Drake London has scored over 10 points. In 2 of the last 5 games, he's scored over 10 points. He has 12.8 and 13.7. The other 3 weeks, he's had 9, 7, and 5. And in my book, and the fact that he splits his receptions with Mooney, that's why, and Ray McLeod to a certain extent, they're going up against a pretty good defense that's probably not going to allow a lot of passes, or he's not going to get a lot of passes. That's why he's not in this list. It's not because I don't like Drake London. I have him on my team. He was doing fantastic at the beginning and midpoint of the year. It's just the last 5 weeks, he has not been putting up the numbers he did earlier in the year. These lists are based on matchups for week 14. They're not who's the best. And I obviously did not make that clear enough, so that is on me. Okay. Hawk or Tua? Well, let's see. This is like a trick question because all I'm thinking about is Hawkinson. I'm a very literal person. So you have like a super flex, is that it? I mean, I think Tua is going to do great. They have a favorable matchup against the Jets. The Jets against quarterbacks are not very good. Where are they? They're 30th out of 32 teams, obviously, against quarterbacks. So I would go Tua. I'm assuming you have a super flex. Okay. Ridley or Metcalf? I would go Metcalf. He should put up good points. Ridley's been really hot and cold. They both have been hot and cold over the last few weeks. But I really think that Westbrook-Ikhine has taken over Ridley's role. I think Metcalf, now that he's healthy, he's not on the injury report, he should have a good game. Right. Winston or Mayfield? I'm going to lean towards Mayfield, but let me just look this up. That's what I do here. I look it up. I look up points. I look up data. I look up who they're playing. Yeah, I'd go with Baker Mayfield. Going against Las Vegas. Las Vegas is 25th against quarterbacks. They give up 22.8 points. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, where Jameis, they're eighth. They give up 18.9. So, yeah, I would go with Baker Mayfield. Devontae or Rico, I would go Rico. DJ, I think I answered the Drake London question. I blame myself for that. Okay, Dante. I don't know how he's not on top 15. Who's not on top 15? Cooper Kupp? I think Cooper Kupp. Okay, wide receivers. This is the most controversy I've ever put up, and it's great. I love it. Okay, Cooper Kupp and Drake London are not in here. And the reason Cooper Kupp is not in there, this is a matchup based for week 14. The Buffalo Bills give up 19.3 points to wide receivers on average per game over the last 4 weeks. 19.3. Let's say that's low number. Let's say it's 25. Okay. How many, based on what happened last week, where Puka got almost all the points and Cooper Kupp got like 3 points, that's part of it. That's a big reason why Cooper Kupp is not on that list. Demarcus Robinson, I think, and Tutu Atwell, I think, have gotten points too. So, of that 25 points, how many does Puka get? How many is left for Cooper and the rest of the team? That's why they're there. Okay, Lamar is on a bye. Okay, I got to take this down. I just got to take this down because everybody's going to think I'm an idiot. I'm not an idiot. Okay, I'm getting rid of it. Boom, there, it's gone. Lamar was not on that list. I'm just going to tell you, Lamar is not on that list because he doesn't play week 14. He has a bye. Again, I'm not getting mad. I did not explain that in the write-up, and that has been questioned all night. Drake London, Derrick Henry, they're either on a bye or they've already played. So I'm just taking the whole darn thing off. So we'll just, what am I going to put up now? Anyway, let's see. You know what? I've probably been doing this for a while. I know I have. Anyway, guys, before I forget, and I'll answer a few more, hit that follow button. I love the engagement. I love asking me questions. You thought that was self-explanatory. Jake, some people read things, other people don't. I'm not going to put up a picture of Drake London. I will, you know what? I will do that. I will put up a picture of Drake London. I love that idea. It's a very good one. All right. I'm going to put that up right now. What happened to Drake London? All right, here we go. Come on. I'm putting up a picture of Drake London. I should put up one of Cooper Kupp, but then I'm really going to be wasting time, aren't I? With my luck, I got the wrong picture. Where's he at? Where'd he go? Oh, where'd he go? There we go. All right. We got him. There's Drake London. We got him. King London. Wide receiver 1 every week. I understand what you're saying. In 3 of the last 5 weeks, Drake London hasn't even gotten to double digits. That's why he wasn't on that list. Anyway, I'm sorry about this, guys. I really do apologize. And because I'm such a screw up, you need to follow me and point out any other thing that I do wrong. How about that? You be like my monitoring team. I promise. And I love the interaction. I love the questions. I love the engagement. I'm open always for a discussion. If I make a pick and you think I'm crazy, yeah, when someone asks why he's the background, I'm not gonna answer. I'll just say because he's King London. That's why. Neighbors over Judy. Judy had 11.5 points the last time against Pittsburgh. Neighbors, let's just look up Neighbors. What did I do with all my stuff? Okay, let's look up Neighbors real quick. The thing about Neighbors is, and I'm getting a lot of questions tonight about him, is he hasn't been putting up the points he did earlier in the season. He's still questionable. He did not practice Friday. Ooh, he may not play, dude. If he didn't practice today, there's a good chance he doesn't play. Here's the thing with Neighbors, okay? Since week 6, when he came back from his concussion, he's had 6, 10, 10, 7.8, 9.4, 11.3. Now he's gotten to 10 points, but in a 10-team league, 10 points is like average. It's not going to help you win. I say it's 13 that helps you win. He hasn't gotten to 13 points in 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, he has not. He's actually not even top 12 points. The most he had last week against a weak Dallas team was 11.3. He played Tampa Bay and got 9.4. He played Carolina and got 7.8. And it looks like he's probably not even going to play. Ladd over Kupp. All right. There's too many. How many Jakes do we have? This is bizarre. Jake with a capital J and Jake with a lowercase j. So I would go. First of all, I don't know that Neighbors is going to play, so you're going to have to watch it. And he didn't practice today, which is a bad sign. And his game's on Sunday, not Monday, because sometimes Monday, if they play Monday, they'll still practice on a Saturday. So you still have time on that, but you don't now. I would go Judy over Neighbors because Judy at least got 11 points the last time they played in that snow-filled game against Pittsburgh. Ladd over Kupp. Yeah, I would go Ladd over Kupp. But you also have to make sure that Ladd plays because he's still been questionable. Ladd, uppercase J, Jake, had 15 points against Kansas City when they played in like week 4, I think it was. So I'm liking that. And Kupp and the Rams and Puka play the Bills, and the Bills only give up 19.3 points on average to wide receivers. So, what does that leave Kupp given what happened last week where Puka got all the points? That was kind of what I was getting after with that list, but that backfired. Garrett Wilson or Adam Thielen? Oh, Luna, that is a wonderful question. That's one of those that, man, it may be a flip of the coin here. I did that once tonight. I haven't done that any other time, though. Wilson has not been putting up points, but yeah. Oh, Thielen goes up against Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is number 1 against wide receivers. Let me double check that. They're very solid. What's going on here? Hello? Yeah. Against wide receivers the last 4 weeks. Come on. Oh, God. Man, this is killing me. Sorry, my computer's acting up. It's probably telling me it's time to go. Yeah, the Eagles are number 1. They give up 12.7 points to wide receivers. So that's not a good sign for Adam Thielen because, they're going to pass to other people. Miami is good, but not that good. They give up 17.9. And you got to figure that Wilson will get, oh my gosh. This is a real flip of the coin because Adam is the number 1. Wilson is the number 2. Wilson, the Dolphins give up 17.9. Let's just say it's 18. Eagles give up 12.7. Let's say it's 13. So it's 13 versus 15 or 13 versus 18. And Wilson is the number 2. So I'm going to flip a coin and give you the decision. I'm going to say the green dot means it's Garrett Wilson. That's the green dot right there. And on this side, no green dot means it's Adam Thielen. All right. It's no green dot, so it's Adam Thielen, although it's going to be a tough matchup for him. But Adam Thielen, it is. It really is a roll of the dice on this one. They both are playing very good defenses against wide receivers. I know I'm making a joke of it, but because Davante Adams is with Garrett Wilson, it doesn't really leave a lot of points for either one to get. Adam Thielen's the same way. He's number one. He did really good last week. Can he top that? Maybe. Maybe he gets 11 points, and that would be good, probably against what Garrett Wilson puts up. So Adam Thielen is a good choice there. All right, who do we got? Don't forget, guys, to like and follow. When you follow me, that means you get to see all of my live streams. I'll be live tomorrow sometime. I'll be live on Sunday. I go live pretty much every day, especially because I don't have much of a life. So I will be live a lot. Don't forget to like. We're at 8,600. Can we get to 9,000? Pitts or Ferguson? Asked Ishjan. Pitts or Ferguson? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Pitts, who has been to Pitts lately, pun intended, unfortunately. He's such a big dude, man. Woo. He is such a big dude. Ferguson against Cincinnati. Let me just look this up. Let me look up what Pitts has been doing. Hey, da-da, Kyle Pitts. You're the Pitts. Oh, he had 0 points against the Chargers. He had 1.4 points against Denver. Yeah, I got to go Ferguson. At least Ferguson's getting points. I mean, 0 and 1.4. Oh, Ferguson's questionable. Oh, he practiced in full, though, so he should be good to go. Okay, he hasn't played. He had 1.6, 2.4. Ishjan, is there any way you can pick up another tight end? Neither one has been putting up even over like 3 points in the last couple games they've played. And a tight end, you want to at least try to get as close to 7 as possible. I mean, if you Minnesota against tight ends, let me just look this up. Minnesota 16, they give up 17 or 7.6. Cincinnati probably isn't as good. The Bengals give up 14. So I guess you go with Ferguson, but Ferguson is well, he did practice though. Never mind. I would go with Ferguson based on the matchup. It's just a matchup thing. They both have been doing really bad. Keenan Allen or Ridley a double flex? I'd go Keenan Allen. He's been putting up points. And Caleb Williams, believe it or not, has had 26 points the last 2 weeks against Minnesota and Detroit. And Keenan Allen has been, putting up good numbers. I think he was on the injury report, but he isn't anymore. So I would go Keenan Allen. He's been doing pretty well. So I can recite some of his numbers. Let me just look him up real quick. Keenan Allen. Yeah, 19, 21. I mean, ever since they made the change in offensive coordinators with the Bears, Caleb Williams has been playing better. Allen and Moore have both been putting up a lot of points. And so that's why I would go with Keenan Allen. All right. Braylon or Jonnu Smith? Braylon Allen. I would go Jonnu Smith. I mean, they're going up against the Jets. The Jets, they're not bad against tight ends. They give up 7.1 points, but Jonnu Smith's been putting up big numbers, and Braylon Allen is still a question mark because we haven't seen him get continuous reps like he's going to get this weekend. So, all right, let's see. Who's still around? Chuba or Pacheco? Oh my gosh. Chuba or Pacheco? Let me just see. Pacheco. Oh, Pacheco or Chuba has to go up against Philly. Philly is one of the best defenses in football. Now, they're not as good against the run. They give up 14.5 points, which isn't awful. Chargers give up 18.4. But you know that Hunt's going to get the ball. Wait, Hunt's healthy, right? Yeah. I'm thinking of Jordan Mason. Never mind. I would go with Pacheco. I still don't think they're going to unveil Pacheco at 100% of the snaps, if you will, that he would normally get, or the touches. But I would go with Pacheco because Chuba has a tougher matchup, and they've been bringing along Jonathan Brooks more and more. Neighbors or Jacoby Myers, Peter? I would go Jacoby Myers. Both are hurt. Wait. Neighbors or Jacoby? Yeah, but I think didn't Jacoby practice? Hold on. Somebody's reading the way. His list is questionable for Sunday's game. Myers wasn't able to practice Thursday. Oh my God, I don't have anything from Jacoby Myers will play Jacoby Myers will play in week 14 against the Buccaneers. This news comes from head coach Antonio Pierce. He's still listed as questionable, but Jacoby will play. I would play Jacoby. It's a good matchup against Tampa Bay. You know they're going to pass. Minshew can pass. Jacoby's been putting up 12, 17. He does have 6.8, 14. So if you round up to 12.7 in the last 5 weeks, 4 of them, he's gotten 13 or more points. And that's the number in a wide receiver or a running back that I always want to get. Like, that's the number I'm always shooting for week in and week out. So I would go Jacoby Myers. All right. Tracy Jr. or Pacheco, I would go Tracy Jr. only because he's going to get the bulk of the carries, and he has a pretty weak matchup in the Aints. The Saints. They used to be called the Aints because they were so bad, but they give up 21.1 points to running backs, and you figure Tracy could get as high as 15 or more of those, but he should get at least 13, so that's why I would go with him. All right. I will be live tomorrow. Don't forget to hit that follow button and likes. Thank you all for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. And if anyone's watched me for a while, I will never put up another sheet with no explanation. I apologize for that. But I will be live sometime tomorrow. I will be live hopefully Sunday before kickoff. So I will talk to you all then. I've been on for like 2.5 hours, so I got to go get something to eat. Bye, everybody. Thank you. 9,000 views. Woo-woo! Yeah, boy. 9,000 mother loving views. Oh. What's with the hair, dude? What? Oh my fuck. What? Okay. Fuck off. We got $1.82. Ooh, what else did I get there? What? I don't understand what I just line up gifts to get gift card. What the fuck? I don't even know what this is. Oh God, what do I do? I oh my God. Yeah. I'm like Judy Connor. Her name Judy Connor. I'm like Judy Connor. Okay, we got Judy Connor, Pacheco, or Adams. Wow, that's a mix. And Al, you'll be after. I think Garrett. Al's been here before. Title gifter got me the mustache. Of course, I probably missed it because I'm on my phone tonight. Her name Judy Connor. I'm like Judy Connor. Okay, we got Judy Connor, Pacheco, or Adams. Wow, that's a. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking walloped. Where are you going, dude? You ever gonna leave? It's getting late. I'm spending the night at my friend's house. Yeah, well, I figured that. You'll be home at 1. Don't worry about it, kids. Well, I'm back, baby. 9,000 years. Everybody's mad at me because I didn't put these 2 wide receivers on my. How can you do that? That's wild. Lee's so good. Well, people are mad at this. I was saying that I love it.